Have you ever felt like you're on a never-ending quest for peace? This is a journey that seems to be as old as humanity itself, a universal longing that transcends cultures, religions, and generations. We relentlessly strive for peace and tranquility, searching for it in the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, in our relationships, in our achievements, and even in our possessions. Famous figures throughout history have echoed this sentiment. Albert Einstein, for instance, once said, "Peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding." Similarly, psychological studies have consistently highlighted the futility of seeking peace in worldly possessions or achievements. They have shown that lasting peace and contentment cannot be found in the external, but within ourselves. But what if we're looking in the wrong places? What if true peace is not found in the world around us, but in the Lord? The Bible, in Psalms 118, offers us a profound truth. The Lord is our refuge, a source of unwavering peace. What does it mean to take refuge in the Lord? It's a concept that's as ancient as the scriptures themselves, yet it remains as relevant today as it was in the days of the psalmist. To take refuge, by definition, means to seek safety from a storm, to find shelter from the uncertainties of life. And who better to provide that shelter than the Lord himself, the creator of heaven and earth, the ultimate architect, whose love and wisdom are boundless. In the book of Psalms, a collection of hymns, prayers and poems, we find a recurring theme. The Lord is our stronghold, our fortress in times of trouble. These are not just metaphors or poetic language. They are promises, assurances of a divine presence that stands by our side, guiding us, protecting us, offering us a peace that surpasses all worldly understanding. Consider Psalms 118, a psalm of thanksgiving for the Lord's enduring love. It is a powerful testament to the peace that comes from taking refuge in the Lord. It reads, "The Lord is with me, I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" These words echo with a profound conviction, a deep-seated faith that finds solace and strength in the Lord's presence. This peace, this serenity, is not a fleeting emotion or a transient state of mind. It is a deep, abiding calm, a sense of equilibrium that perseveres, even in the face of life's most tumultuous storms. It is a peace that stems from trust, from surrendering our fears, our doubts, our anxieties to the Lord, and knowing with absolute certainty that He will guide us, protect us, sustain us. As Psalms 118:8-9 declares, "It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in humans. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes." These verses point to the enduring wisdom of finding peace in the Lord, a peace that is steadfast, immovable, a sanctuary amidst the chaos of life. But don't just take our word for it. Let's hear from those who have experienced this peace. Our first story comes from Sarah, a single mother of 3. Sarah was overwhelmed by the demands of life. She felt as though she was drowning in a sea of stress, despair, and hopelessness. Then she turned to the Lord, seeking His guidance and protection. She says, "In the midst of my turmoil, I felt a calming presence. I wasn't alone. I felt peace, a peace that I had never known. That was the peace of the Lord." Next, we have John, a successful businessman who had everything he had ever wanted: wealth, fame, power, yet he was empty inside. He recalls, "I was on a never-ending quest for happiness, but the more I acquired, the more dissatisfied I became. Then I surrendered to the Lord. I experienced a peace that surpassed all understanding. It wasn't about what I had, it was about who I had, the Lord." Then there's Mary, a young woman battling a severe illness. Despite her physical pain, she radiates joy and peace. She shares, "The Lord has been my refuge in this storm. I have peace not because my circumstances have changed, but because I know the one who holds my future." And finally, we hear from James, a former soldier who struggled with the horrors of war. He tells us, "I was haunted by what I had seen and done. I was lost, broken, but when I took refuge in the Lord, I found a peace that healed my soul. I was no longer defined by my past, but by His love." These stories, as varied as they are, share a common thread: the transformative power of taking refuge in the Lord. Sarah, John, Mary, and James, they all experienced the turmoil of life. They felt the weight of their circumstances bearing down on them, but when they sought the Lord, they found peace. A peace that calmed their storms, a peace that filled their emptiness, a peace that comforted their pain, a peace that healed their hurts. This peace is not a fleeting emotion or a momentary relief. It is a deep, abiding peace that transcends all understanding. It is a peace that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, the Lord is with you. It is a peace that only the Lord can give. Each of these individuals sought the Lord in their moment of need, and in return they were gifted with a peace that transformed their lives. They discovered the power of taking refuge in the Lord. They found the peace that surpasses all understanding. These stories are a testament to the peace that can only be found in the Lord. So how can we tap into this peace? How do we take refuge in the Lord? These questions might be resonating within your mind as we delve deeper into the journey towards peace. The first step to embracing the peace of the Lord is to nurture and strengthen your faith. This faith isn't merely about believing in the existence of a higher power. It's about trusting in the Lord's wisdom and plan for your life. It's about surrendering your worries, fears, and doubts, and trusting that He is guiding you towards peace. Next, we turn to prayer. Prayer is a potent tool that allows us to communicate directly with the Lord. It's a dialogue, an exchange, a heartfelt conversation. When you pray, you're not merely reciting words. You're bearing your soul to the one who created it. You're expressing your deepest fears, your most profound hopes, and your sincerest gratitude. And in return, you're opening your heart to receive His peace. But prayer and faith alone are not enough. There's a critical third element that we often overlook: surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or admitting defeat. Instead, it's about accepting that we don't have all the answers, that we can't control everything, and that's okay. Surrendering to the Lord means letting go of our need to control and trusting in His guidance. It's about letting Him take the reins and lead us to peace. So here we are, standing at the threshold of peace. We've learned that faith, prayer, and surrender are the keys to unlocking this peace. And as we step forward, embracing these elements, we are enveloped by a peace that is profound, a peace that is divine, a peace that surpasses all understanding. Embracing the peace of the Lord is a journey. It's not a destination that we reach overnight. It's a path that we walk, step by step, day by day, guided by faith, fueled by prayer, and anchored in surrender. And as we walk this path, we find that the peace we seek is not just around us, but within us. It's a peace that stems from the Lord and permeates our very being, guarding our hearts and our minds in Christ Jesus. As Philippians 4:7 promises, and the peace of God which surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. The journey to finding peace in the Lord is not a one-time event, but a lifelong process. In this quest, patience and persistence are your greatest allies. Just as the growth of a tree is not seen in a day, the journey of spiritual growth and the discovery of peace in the Lord takes time. It's a path that requires commitment, resilience, and dedication. Imagine the journey as a long hike to the peak of a mountain. Some parts of the trail will be steep, rocky, and arduous. You may stumble, you may fall, but the key is to get back up, dust yourself off, and continue climbing. That is the essence of persistence. Along this journey, you may also encounter periods of stillness where it feels like you're not moving forward. But remember, even in these moments of seeming stagnation, growth is happening. It's during these times that patience becomes your virtue. There will be moments of doubt, moments of fear, and moments of weakness. But remember, these are just moments. They don't define your journey. They are simply a part of it. And in those moments, when the path seems too daunting, remember to seek solace in the Lord. For He is our refuge in times of trouble. He is our strength when we feel weak. And most importantly, He is our peace in the midst of chaos. Despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, continue seeking peace in the Lord. For it is in this continuous seeking that we find our true strength. It's in the constant pursuit of peace that we discover our resilience. This journey is not about reaching a destination, but about embracing the journey itself. It's about the lessons we learn, the strength we gain, and the peace we discover along the way. So continue your journey, continue your quest for peace, and remember, you're not alone. The Lord is with you every step of the way. Remember, the Lord is our refuge, our strength and our peace. Seek Him, trust Him, and experience a peace that surpasses all understanding.